Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dixie. This is my co-host Katrine. We're from Easy Marketing, and today we're continuing our 7-part series, Social Media Crash Course. If you're new to social media advertising, it can be intimidating to design ads, to select the placements, and to set a budget. But Easy Marketing, we're all about making it easy. So we have some great tips to help you get the most from your social media advertising dollar. Did you know that with just a few clicks, you can turn the Facebook or Instagram posts that you've already spent time on into ads that can run across Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger? Or that you can target your audience based on location, interest, and demographics and run ads with as little as $1 per day. We'll show you how. So grab your pen, your coffee, and stick to the end. You'll be entered to win a free consultation for your business. This is part 6 of our social media crash course. Each of these workshops is self-contained. So if you're just joining us, not to worry, you'll fit right in. But if you want to go back and revisit previous topics, of course, we encourage you to do that. The entire series is going to be available for a limited time on our YouTube channel, Easy Marketing, spelled E-Z-Y. Katrine?
Yeah, and we are Easy Marketing. Just a little plug for who we are. We are a marketing agency in Northeast Florida. We've been around for over 20 years. We create and we maintain websites. We even host them. We do logos, graphic design. We work with all kind of printed materials, whatever you need. But of course, we also work with email marketing, which is a cornerstone of every company's marketing. Um, uh, yes, so.
Strategy. Thank you so much, Katrine. If you've been with us for the entire series and have been putting some of our social media tips to practice, hopefully you're starting to see the reach and engagement on your social media channels grow. But there is a ceiling to organic reach by just posting alone. The algorithms, by design, are only going to show your content to a portion, maybe 10% of your followers. So by supplementing with even a modest budget, say $5 a day, you can put your content in front of thousands of highly targeted new customers at a price that is 5 to 10 times lower than Google Ads. And as those new users begin to interact with your page, your organic reach will grow as well. So that generates sort of a positive snowball effect of digital marketing. And we have a quick poll here, so let me get that launched. We like to know who we're working with. All right, so you can answer that, and we'll just get those answers in aggregate, not individual, but we like sort of a digital show of hands of who is using paid ads and how often on social media, so we know if this is a novice group or somebody who's doing this regularly and just needs some more tips to be more effective. All right, so it looks like about half of you are new to social media ads. About 20% of doing them regularly 4 or more times a year, so that's good. All right, and we're going to close that poll in 3, 2, 1. Awesome, thank you so much for participating. So 45% of you have not done any ads in the past year. Then there's a range, and about 18% are really effective with your ads. So good, thank you so much for participating in that. So we have sort of a 4-step process, and step 1 is to set clear objectives. So before you start any social media ad campaign, you need to have really clearly defined goals and objectives. So you want to think, are you trying to get more Facebook followers? Do you want people to attend an event, either in person or online? Are you trying to drive traffic to your physical or online store? Maybe you're just trying to generate new leads, people who might be interested in your real estate or financial services. There are different types of social media ads for different purposes. So be sure that you know what it is you're trying to accomplish with each ad, and you're going to select the goal accordingly. Based on our polls in the last few sessions, We know that the majority of you are using Facebook for your business as at least one of your social media channels, and it's still the biggest with the broadest audience. So we're going to use Facebook in our examples today, but all the principles still apply to other channels as well. Mhm. So once you set your goal, you really want to spend some time clearly defining your audience. You don't want to waste your budget on people who are unlikely to need the goods and services that you offer. So you're going to start with a basic audience. You can specify gender, age, and location. A common mistake here is to be too broad. So think, sure, you could be attracting customers of any age and gender, but you want to think here in terms of your most likely or typical customer. So a bike shop, for example, probably serves all ages, but I suspect that more than 50% of customers are in the 25 to 45 age bracket. So that's a great place to start with your ads. A photographer is another great example. They have a wide variety of clients, but it's women who are most often making the purchasing decision on a family photographer. So you can stretch your budget a little more by targeting just them. Don't think of it as excluding potential customers, but more as using your advertising dollars wisely to narrow in on the most likely customer.
Yeah,
The same.
and Dixie, you might say this later, but I just want to emphasize that usually with social media, someone that is following you, those are the people seeing your post. With paid advertising, we now are reaching outside, even people that has not followed you before. Those are the ones you can really reach with advertising. But you can also decide only to send to the ones that are already following you. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
So if you are having an event and that you want the people who are in your organization, in your circle, you might choose to target just the people who follow your page. But if you're trying to get people to participate in a fundraiser or obviously to buy your products or services, then you want to reach much broader than the people who are your current followers. So as you're thinking about your audience, the same goes for location. You want to get more narrow. So if you're an online business, you're only going to select the places, the countries to which you offer shipping. If you're a brick and mortar, you want to put in your physical address and select a radius that customers are reasonably willing to drive. And that's going to depend. I might drive 25, 30 miles for a great lawyer, but probably only 5 miles for a good coffee shop. Um, if you're trying to attract people, like in a travel industry from other areas, don't select the entire US for your ads. You want to do a little research and see where your current customers are typically coming from, or perhaps where people could easily reach you with a direct flight. So those would be the cities to target first. We'd much rather you spend your advertising dollars on, say, your top 5 metro areas than to waste money on middle America where people are not going to take 3 different transfers to get to you. Next, you have the opportunity for really detailed targeting, and this is where the magic comes in. It allows you to refine the audience based on their interests and behaviors. So you can include or exclude groups. So easy marketing, we might look to advertise to small business owners. Your organization might want to target frequent travelers, vegetarians, women who watch The Bachelor, who knows? There are so many different options. Just keep an eye on that little audience definition gauge at the bottom to make sure it's not too broad or too narrow to be effective. And then finally, you're going to set the duration, end date, and budget. So for most campaigns, you'll want at least 7 days. The longer it runs, the more the AI really learns and it becomes more effective. The budget that you set is going to be the maximum that you'll be charged over the duration of the full campaign.
and with that, you have to put your credit card up there. Are you going to talk about that or?
Mhm. Yeah, so you'll put your credit card there and you'll be charged each month. And then if it's a longer campaign, it'll be charged into chunks. So if you were having a 3-month campaign, you would get charged at regular intervals.
Yeah, but when you put the credit card up, you set a roof and it will never go over that. So for a company, I usually have a roof of $500 and it doesn't matter how many campaigns I get started, it's never going to go over that amount until I go in and allow more money. So it's important that you don't, that you know that money is not just going to disappear.
Yes. So you could have a $500 ceiling, like Katrine said, but only budget $50 for this particular campaign. So this campaign would not go over $50 and all the ads total could not go over 500. And it may be less, but that would be the ceiling. So once you've got all those parameters picked, the next is the fun part, choosing the images or the video and the text that are going to be displayed. So there's two ways to create an ad. You can boost an existing post, or you can create brand new ads or a whole campaign of ads from scratch. And there are advantages to both ways. Boosting an existing post is great for beginners because it's easy to do directly from your Facebook page and because you've already put the work into curating those images and writing the copy. It's a great time saver and the simplest way to try out paid ads. You'll be able to select your goal, like we've discussed before. You'll have the option to add buttons like call now or follow or visit our website. And you can also get an instant preview before you submit the ad. So keep in mind that your ads do have to be reviewed and approved. So it's not instantaneous. You want to give yourself a window of a couple days. And we really wanted to point out that if your ad is in any way related to housing, employment, credit, social issues, politics, any of those topics, there's a button that you have to click that says special ad category. You have to click that button or I promise you your ad will get rejected. Those topics require a little bit of extra scrutiny and also have limited audience selection to avoid any kind of discrimination. Um, you'll have a variety of format options from your typical single image to something called instant experiences or our beautiful on-screen destinations, if you will. Once the format is selected, you'll add your images or short videos if you prefer, and the text. And you want to be brief and witty here because generally about 125 characters is all you're going to get. Finally, so you'll select your ad placement, be it Facebook, desktop, mobile, Instagram, Messenger, or all of the above now that they're all under the Meta umbrella. But ultimately, the most important factor in your ads is that they're enticing. You want images that grab people's attention so they're not just scrolling by, and then a really dynamic copywriting with a call to action. So the ad should say, call now, join today, register, whatever the verb is, the action that you want people to do as a result of seeing your ad.
I have a question coming in here. Do you recommend running ads across both Facebook and Instagram, is what they're asking?
Yeah, okay, so that's a great question. It's going to depend partly on what is the goal of your ad. So if the goal of your ad is to get more followers, if you don't have a Facebook or an Instagram page, or if you're not really active on that, you want to take that into consideration. If your goal is to sell more goods and services or to have people come to your event, then it's really more of an audience consideration. So a few webinars back, and you can see it on our YouTube channel, we talked about picking the right social media channels for your business and your audience. So go back and review that. You'll see that Instagram views skews a lot younger. So we have some clients that have a summer camp. So we're advertising across both because a lot of the moms in their 40s are very active on Facebook, but the teenagers are very active on Instagram. So it's important to us to advertise across both channels so we hit both sides of our audience. But if you are primarily trying to hit an older crowd and what you have to show is not very demonstrative or beautiful to look at, you might decide that Instagram is not for you. So it's really a matter of what is your goal and who is your audience if you decide which of these or both channels is right for your campaign? Great question. So boosting, we just talked about, that's kind of the simple, easy way to get involved with ads. When you're ready to do something a bit more sophisticated than a boosted post, you can use Facebook or Meta Ads Manager to create ads from scratch. And here you're going to have a lot more control, more options, and get real-time reporting on how your each ad in your campaign is performing. This does take a good deal more savvy than a boosted post. So if you have a need for a professionally run advertising campaign, even if it's just a one-time campaign or for your big annual event, please give us a call and we will point you in the right direction and help you with that. So the last step, regardless of how you run your campaign, is to test and refine. Even professional marketers like ourselves are continuously monitoring our ads to see how they can be more effective. We often do what we call an A/B test, which is where we're running two ads that are very similar at the same time to see which one performs better. So we might have identical ads using two different pictures to see which one catches people's eye. Or we might have identical ads with the same picture, but the wording is a little different. So what we're going to do is after a week or maybe two, if it's obvious that one of these ads is outperforming the other, then we'll pause that ad that's underperforming and move all of our dollars to the better performing ad. So you can sort of in real time make adjustments when you do an A/B test.
Yeah,
Similar.
and Facebook, if you do an ad, not a boost, Facebook is also doing the same thing. They are like showing the ones that don't go well. And we have a question from Kevin here. He
Okay.
says, which image type works best, single, carousel, and video, etc. And this is exactly what Dixie is talking about. You just have to try
Yeah, you
because
have to. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there is no one best. We have run thousands and thousands of ads, and I can't say to you with certainty that video is always the best option. I'll go back to the example of the summer camp. We have videos of kids jumping into the pool and there's a big splash, or we have a different kind of camp where kids are riding like ATVs. Those videos do really well because it's, just so demonstrative, they catch your eye. But we also have single image ads that run really well too. So if you have several different pictures, if you have a couple different videos, I suggest you run maybe 5, and then you'll be able to see if you're using Ad Manager within a week exactly how many clicks, much reach, how many impressions you're getting for each. And it's simple with one click to pause the ones that are not performing as well and put more dollars into the others. So getting back to testing and refining, we can also refine our demographics. So I personally like to start a little bit narrow and then move out from there if needed. So let's say that you're targeting 30-something women who like yoga. You have a yoga studio and you're not getting the results from the ads that you want. Maybe the next time you run it, go a little bit younger or perhaps a little bit older. Maybe your demographics were not as targeted as you thought. And you could also try some related interests like meditation or group exercise. So it's not just that they have to be targeted on the keyword yoga. It could even be nutrition. Typically, people that like one thing are like similar things. So you might try other related interests. On the other hand, let's say you're getting a lot of response about hot yoga, but that's not something that your studio offers. You can exclude that, and that's going to help save your dollars and refine your audience. So testing and refining are all part of the process and will make each of your subsequent ads better and more effective. And of course, we're always here to help you if you need professional guidance. We have many full service clients that we do year round, but others that we just design and run one-time campaigns. And we also offer consultation services. So if you feel like you can do it yourself, but just need somebody to look at it and point you in the right direction, please don't hesitate to reach out. Mhm. So we covered a lot of ground, but before you go, we always have a little homework assignment to get you started. So we want you to round up the troops at your business and talk about setting aside a modest budget for social media ads. Be really clear about your objectives and take the time to define the demographics and interests of your most likely customers. More than anything, that's going to help the success of your ads is that you're targeting the right people. Then take that leap and run an ad for, say, a couple weeks. Then we want you to analyze results and refine your strategy. So maybe the demographics need a little tweaking, or maybe you want to cast a wider net by appealing with people with similar interests. And if you need some expert advice or a little help getting started, we'd be glad to set up a consultation. We're always here for you. So with that, I'll turn it over to Katrine and we'll see if you have any more questions for us. And you could just type them right there in the question box.
Yeah, and I actually have a comment from Sabine.
Mhm.
She said that they were hacked on their Facebook account and their daily limit was changed to $20,000.
Oh gosh.
Yes, and everything was closed down, but she said that it's very important that you turn on your two-factor security on all your social media accounts, and especially when you have money into it. So whenever you are on your account and they say turn on two-step security, follow those instructions. It usually means that if you're logging in from a new device that you have to get a code to your cell phone that you have to enter. So it's not hard to use two-factor authorization, and it's really worth the security.
Yeah, we agree. We work with dozens and dozens of clients. So obviously they are trusting us with the security of their websites and social media. So we use two-factor identification for all of our clients. But if you do run across something like that and you have a problem, hacking unfortunately is becoming more common, please give us a call and we can try to see how we can help. Also make sure that your passwords are really secure. If you're using the name of your company, the name of your dog, the name of your kid, we shouldn't be using any of those. It should be ideally a randomly generated password with a bunch of capital letters and numbers and characters. And you're going to change those often and not use them across multiple things. So you're not using the same password for Facebook that you use for your bank account and that you use when you order food.
Yeah,
Great.
and she's also saying that it was a nightmare and they lost their admin access to the account. So, and that also shows how important it is for you as a company organization to have emails with your organization's domain name in it, like easymarketing.com, and not a Gmail address, because that's how you can identify and prove for Facebook in this case that you are who you are and the other ones are intruders. So
Absolutely. Great comment. Thank you for sharing that. Any other questions before we move on?
no, I didn't have anything more. No.
All right. Well, if you think of it later, let us know. Katrine.
Yeah, so if all of this is new, if you're new to social media, or if you need any help, maybe setting up your first campaign, need some hand holding on that, give us a call. Right in front of you now is our social media setup to make sure that all your platforms are correctly set up. Um, next time in 2 weeks, we are going to meet and we're going to talk about hashtags. So I really hope you are signing up for that in the follow-up email you're going to get later today.
Absolutely. And this is by far one of our most requested and best attended workshops. They're sort of the new search engine, the card catalog of the digital age. So we really invite you back for that one in a couple weeks.
So please stay in touch and give us a call, send us an email, and we are here and we're looking forward to see you in 2 weeks again.
Thanks for joining us. Look out for that follow-up email later today, and then we will see you again in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.